Welcome back to Four Faces. Today we're going to talk about why Haiti right now, as we speak, is disastrous. It's horrible. They are killing, they're burning down gas stations. Why? Because the cost of fuel, as well as not access to fuel, as well as a lot of gas stations doesn't have any fuel. Why we here in America or around other parts of the world complain about high fuel prices. Think about it if you had none at all. Let's talk about it. So as you know, Haiti right now is suffering and going through a horrible, disastrous time right there in Haiti because of the fuel crisis, and there's other reasons as well. But this fuel crisis is horrible. People are not able to acquire fuel to power up their vehicles, which means you can't get fuel, you can't go to work, you can't transport your kid where they need to go, even though that education system right now is faltered and probably in disarray. But nevertheless, what's causing all this? We all know, most of you know, especially from Haiti, if you've been keeping up with the news, you got gang members involved, you got politicians involved, you got local people involved. There's so much corruption and things going on that is disastrous. But I have another question I have to ask you, especially, with the times that they are. They consider Haiti right now as the worst. I'm talking about right now as we speak, the world views Haiti as the poorest country in the entire world. Yeah, you just heard what I said, entire world. You may be saying, you're just saying that. No, I'm not just saying that. Think about it. They just assassinated not too long ago their own president. Think about that. They got a fuel crisis going on. They got kids being raped. They got kids being sold. The streets are dirty and filthy and nasty. Go take a look at yourself. Right? It's horrible. And I'm not talking about Labadie. I'm talking about right there in Port-au-Prince. I'm talking about the capital. I'm talking about up there in the hills. That's what I'm talking about. And who's going to tell me I'm wrong? Nobody's going to tell me I'm wrong because you know I'm right. But here's another situation. It's just a question I want to ask. Where are the people that comes from Haiti, that left Haiti? Where are you? Where are your voices? You got to understand something. The key, one of the keys for Haiti's success is, guess what? And it's very simple. It's a simple word. Education. The problem is all the educated people from Haiti have left Haiti. They gone. They living in the houses in nice places around the world. Not all of them, but most of them. They left. They went to America. Some went to Canada. Some went to Europe, Asia, all around the world. They left. Some are right there in Florida. They gone. But when you remove that resource, that education, what happens is you have catastrophe. Now, I'm not saying that the people that still remain there are all uneducated. I'm not saying that so much. I'm saying mostly the majority is, right? They got the street survivals. Don't get me wrong. They could survive. I'm not saying that they ignorant. I'm saying that they have the street survival instinct. But I'm talking about education. I'm talking about education in a sense that could promote and bring up that country. Because what's happening is what? What is really happening? Right? You got various countries capitalizing on Haiti, right? We all know that. We got America taking advantage of Haiti. You got Asian companies taking advantage of Haiti, right? Because why? There's a lack of education. There's a lack of understanding, knowledge. And then you got the politicians who have higher education, and then, they know how to sell something to people. They know how to get over on people. They know how to do what? Give weapons to the gangs out there. How in the world do a gang member in Haiti, by the way, these weapons are very expensive, right? They're not like $10. We're talking about American dollars, US dollars. You're talking about hundreds of dollars, man. How do they get $200-$300 to buy some type of assault weapon? Ask yourself that question. How? When the price of food is skyrocket there, when the price of fuel is high, how do they get that? When they got to pay for electric gas, sometimes, they tap off on that electric line. We know that, they get that electric for free. But nevertheless, how are they able to afford that? It's impossible. Somebody is giving them those weapons. Somebody's giving them that incentive to cause harm to their own country, in which they live in. Think about it. They live in Haiti, people there, and they subjecting themselves to horrors. Why? Education. Education plays a big, huge part. But all the educated people, most of them, about 90% of them, left. So what they do? They're living comfortable. They got that nice baby. They patting them on the back. They telling their kid how much they love them. Daddy's coming over, coming home from work, throwing big birthday parties for them, caressing them, telling them how much they love them at nighttime. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's magnificent. Nothing wrong with that. Taking the kids to Catholic schools and, honor societies and all this beautiful stuff. Parents getting degrees and master degrees and bachelor degrees and PhD degrees. Oh man, you're looking so sparkly, so shiny. You're shining like the star. Oh man, beautiful. But what's really happening is what? The people back at your hometown and where your mama live, where your daddy live, where your auntie live, where your grandmother, your aunties, great-great-grandmothers live is falling apart. It's disastrous out there. It's dirty. It's nasty. It's filthy out there. And what's happening, you got other countries coming in, capitalizing on your labor for almost nothing, pennies on the dollar. And you're sitting there and home in your nice, comfortable place with the butterflies flying all around you in the cars with the BMWs and the Lamborghinis and, stop by say all day and, smoking that weed and whatever you do. Nothing wrong with you having fun with your life. But what about those that you left behind? What about those that you abandoned? Yes, I'm going to say abandoned. You got that right. Some of you here, some of you have left your own children out there, and what you think is happening to them right now? God forbid they're not. God wills, let's pray that they're not getting raped. They're not being sold off. They're not out there committing crime and smoking and doing disastrous things. When I say smoking, I ain't talking about regular cigarette. I'm talking about smoking heavy drugs. That's what I'm talking about. What are you doing? No, seriously, stop. Stop for a second. What are you doing? You have the education, the knowledge now. You should be trying to utilize your knowledge, your information, and giving it back. And trying to, instead of just saying, oh, I'm going to pray for them. Yeah, I'm going to get down. I'm just going to pray for them. And God willingly, they'd be okay. They'd be all right. But I just pray for them. And I'll just keep praying. I'll pray every day and everything will be all right. David and Moses, they prayed, they talked, they spoke with God. But yet, they still did what? They had action. They spoke, they prayed, once again, but they had action. I believe in actions. I believe that if you're going to do something and if you're going to say you're going to do it for the name of our God, one and only God, true God, then why you don't have no actions behind that? Where's your action? Where's your action? I see you at the barbecues. I see you. Stop by say, I see you at the barbecues. Yeah, having a great time. I see your kid graduating and going to higher education learning. I see some of you out there having your own businesses, starting up business. You're fixing houses. You're using your skill, your trade, and you're doing very well. Oh, you're doing great. But what about the country? What about the country where your DNA came from? What are you doing about that? You're doing nothing. You're doing absolutely nothing. And admit to yourself you're doing nothing. At least you can move on. At least you can move on. This is Four Faces. We'll talk.